Hello, wherever, whenever, and whoever you are, and welcome back to QuestJunkiesUK, and welcome back to Everden, and that corner of that distant, far-off part of the Beastlands that is known as the Humblewood. As you can see, a little bit of a skeleton crew today. It is just myself, and, fear not, the level of quality that is going to be on stream today is assured because the fabulous Lauren Urban is here. Hello.
Well, that is very kind of you to say.
That's very true.
There will be 1/4 of the quality of players are here holding down the fort. But you know,
you are all equally as amazing as each other. So one of you can lift the weight of all four of you as well, don't worry.
Well, I missed the three of them, and I hope for various reasons they could not be here, but they're all awesome. And
all of those
hopefully
IRL encounters.
Jeez, right? Worse than doors.
Encounters, I know. But yes, we're looking forward to having the full crew back together very, very soon. But for today, we are going to focus on our little Vulpin friend here, Astuto, as we return to the Humblewood here. Now, first things first, just before we get into all of that, if you would like to grab yourself a little Electrum chest of goodies for a certain strategy game known as Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Hey, I did it right around. Not Forgotten Champions.
I mean, it works both ways.
It does. You can do what I'm about to do here and drop a code command in chat, and that will get you a Electrum chest code for Idle Champions, and you can head over there. If you haven't tried it out, do check out the link there and enjoy this strategy game. Bunch of really cool characters from across Forgotten Realms lore, the official adventures, and Driftwood and all of that goodness, as well as lots of amazing actual play stream characters, including one of your own, I believe, Lauren.
Yeah, Orkira Ildrex is still
there, right?
having fun over there. As much fun as you can have dealing with liches.
Indeed. Yes, lots of fun stuff going on around the Halloween time of year over there. So go and check that out and get off on your adventures. For it is dangerous to go alone, but we have this code for you to send you off with some decent gear, at least to start off with. A big hello to everyone in chat already. Miko, the OKSGM, one of my co-conspirators for our upcoming charity event. Very excited about that. The fabulous Matty, I'm often seen over on QuestJunkiesUK, and here, of course, in our Tomb of Annihilation and Candlekeep Mysteries games. Welcome in. Order Einfach, I think. Sorry, excuse if I butchered the pronunciation there. Phantom, good to see you, my friend. Lucetius, with that unsuccessful lurk. It's that playtime, as you said. Dimi Coca-Cola, enjoy the code. I hope you're having fun with the game. And Hakashuk, good to see you too. Welcome in. And everyone else as well, joining us in from the game. And I see the alert has gone out there on Idle Champions. Welcome in, everybody. Grab yourself that code. Enjoy. And if you can, hang out and enjoy the fabulous storytelling of the individual to my left on camera, right as you're looking at it. And the little Vulpin Fennec. Is it a Fennec version of the Vulpin?
Yeah, he's based on a Fennec. Well, it's a Fennec fox, but there's a specific. It's a Banford fox, I think, is the name. But the big ears and the kind of the scrawny body. That's where he comes from.
It's great. Big shout outs to our buddy Emma City Art for the fabulous character art, both for Astuto and cycling by in the slideshow at the bottom there. Do check out Emma's amazing stuff over there on Twitter and jump in their commissions if you are able to grab a spot. Awesome stuff all the time. Right, okay, so without further ado, the Maharishi coming with a subscription, 34 months, just shy of 3 years, my friend. Thank you so much. Amazing. Rishi, was that for me or Astuto? Who would you like to have a spin of the wheel of shenanigans? Difference, if you would like to have a little.
Just flip a coin, I guess.
Right, it's pretty focused.
Or maybe it's for one of our friends who are not here today, and so they get a nice little,
fair,
warm welcome back.
Present. Right. Apparently it's going to me though. Okay, let's spin that wheel. Just a spin of the wheel of shenanigans here. Which of our NPCs is going to be? Oops, all wisdom. Aha.
Well, maybe my grandfather will finally be a little more wise.
Well, I think your grandmother's going to swoop in today. So definitely the wiser of the two.
definitely the more level-headed. Let's put it that way.
Indeed,
But I might be slightly biased, let's say.
Fair. Speaking of, what are these grandparents we speak of? Well, last time we were here in the Humblewood, our adventurers, as they were traveling, having escaped the towering, fiery enemy that had risen up out of the scorched grove, they managed to make their way back through the forest to the massive central city that is the Evertree and the habitation within known as Aldahat. They were discussing the various things they had discovered, the nature of these magically induced sparks that were spreading fires and expanding the boundaries of the scorched grove, and now allowing this creature, seemingly in some sort of weakened state, to move and influence further beyond its current limitations. As they returned to the Aldahat, they immediately went to the headquarters of the Tenders, the druidic order that is in charge of things throughout the Humblewood, but focused on the Scorched Grove and keeping an eye on everything that's happening there. It was they that raised the alarm in the first place that the activity was much more present and evident than usual in the Scorched Grove. It was there that they met with the head of the Tenders there, a certain Vance Snownest, and our druid's mentor and teacher, Sorbirson the Vulpen, who may pop in today as well. Oh yes, Miko. Humblewood is a wonderful setting. We have the joy of welcoming humble folk into the rest of the Forgotten Realms as well as in our world and our version of things. The Evertrees, like Aldahat in the background here, behind myself and in the overlay, they are offshoots of Yggdrasil, the World Tree. So it is via these winding connections throughout the multiverse that the humble folk and bird folk have spread beyond the realms of Everden here. Now, the report was made to the Tenders about what's happening and everything that they had seen, and they met with, as I said, Sorbirson as well. And Sorbirson revealed himself to be the person that Astuto's previous professor at the Avium, the School of Magic here in the Humblewood, had recommended meet with Astuto and delve deeper into this connection to natural magic and the way that the druids access the weave as opposed to the academic arcane studies of wizards. And they met each other and had promised to continue discussions and talk later. After that, they went up to the Bird Council, as was, realizing that it had now become the Humblewood Council, a more representative body that has all sorts of humble folk involved as well, from the major settlements from the forest floor, not just the perches and the bird folk that live within. They reported to them as well, did a quick scan, made sure there was no sparks lurking in the council chambers there. We're happy to see that it was a-okay. They received they were lauded, heaped upon with rewards for all of their various deeds. And they met once more with Brenna, the ex-Perch Guard captain, who was leader of the so-called Bandit Coalition, but was in fact just trying to help the refugees and actually fighting against the bandit ways of their predecessors. And they, having been introduced via Astuto and friends to the council here in Aldahat, formed the Wildwood Brigade, a new organization which combines the talents of the humble folk and the bird folk to deliver aid and supplies and rescue refugees from those areas affected by the wildfires much faster and more effectively than they were before. As they were urged to travel once more to the Avium, the previous home of Astuto's academic pursuits, they were involved. They were informed that the creature that they had come across had existed in legends and been heard of before by members of the council, and it's known as the Aspect of Fire, some vast elemental creature connected somehow to the portals and connections that go from the Scorched Grove to the elemental plane of fire, which is the source of all of these fiery creatures, the ember bats, the ash snakes, and this aspect of fire itself. As they were recommended to visit the avium, Astuto was called out by name as having had connections there, which was curious, but they quickly discovered why, as Astuto's grandfather, a certain, what was this old guy's, Brinley Mago, this stuffy old, stuck-in-his-ways Vulpin, came over and revealed that he had become aware, through his influence and connections here in the city, that Astuto had bailed on their studies. And that is how they were aware. He confronted Astuto in a not particularly understanding manner about what had happened at the avium, but having stomped off with a certain amount of flatulence visited upon them by some of Astuto's vengeful friends.
Thank you, Marok.
They were able to, separate themselves from that, extricate themselves from that situation, and we will be joining again later in the evening as we return to the Elder Heart, as we return to the Humblewood, and as we return to Trial by Fire. And welcome back. Do check out the fabulous work of Patch over at QuestJunkies, who does those awesome intros for us. Now, as we return, a few hours have passed since that meeting in the council chambers. Astuto, your friends and fellow adventurers, having concernedly checked in that you were okay and asking after how you were doing, gave you some space and have returned to the Feather's Friend, the tavern lower down in the Trunk Market where you are staying whilst you are here. And we ourselves remain up in the canopy, over on the eastern side of the vast tree, out in the branches, in one of the various platforms and viewing locations, as the sky above peach with the setting sun off behind you, hidden by the vast foliage and bulk of the tree, but the coloration still coming over the sky here. You look out across the canopy, the vast forest far below, the Evertree of the Elder Heart towering even far up above the main natural forest. And you look at the avium. It is not a great distance to the east, and being similar in stature as a tree as was, you're not sure. You never looked into whether it was an Evertree originally itself. You've only ever known the Elder Heart here, but that vast petrified trunk sticking up out of Everden, you can see in the distance above the canopy. And with a bit of haze at the end of the day, even from this far away, you can make out the terrariums levitating, spinning slowly around that central petrified trunk. And you stand with your paws on the naturally sculpted organic balcony, looking over at the avium, what is going through Astuto's mind, that conflict, that that confrontation by your grandfather, everything that you've learned. Over to you.
I think the last couple of hours until he broke off from his friends, he deflected a lot of the attention by putting it back onto Thistlesnoot, because, and what he hasn't admitted is basically the only reason he was able to stand up to his grandfather was his grandfather went after Thistlesnoot. And that's how he had the courage to stand up and say no for the first time ever. And there's like this weird little bit of guilt about that it took one of his friends getting hurt for him to get the courage up to do that. So I think he's looking at the Avum, and it's not even a couple hours ago would have been with dread of, oh, I gotta go back and I gotta like sneak around and everyone, and now everybody kind of knows and it doesn't matter. And so now it's more that moment of, why did it take one of my friends getting hurt before I finally was able to stand up to him?
Okay.
That's a lot of that.
Yeah. As you're pondering all of this and looking out over the vista in front of you, there are other folks, humble folk here, coming just to come and admire the view. This side of things is more popular as the west side of the tree is looking out over across the same vast stretch of forest, but with huge columns of smoke billowing up from the scorched grove, and where that aspect of fire is lurking somewhere out of view, threatening the existence of the forest and blocking the sunset. You become aware of a presence beside you, also just taking in the view, and looking to your side, you see that it's Marion, your grandmother. I can get character outs too.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a real quick look around to see, is she with my grandfather or is she alone?
She's alone.
Okay. I stiffen for a second, and then noticing he's not there, relax. Hey.
She was waiting quietly for you. Good evening, Astuto.
So, how mad is he?
He
That
will
man.
stew for a while, but you know how he is. I just wanted, first and foremost, to check you're okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I have friends with me and everything. Like, I'm doing great. I get to go back to the Avon without having to sneak around now, right?
It seems so. They were requesting that you go and look into this. I'm sorry, I don't truly understand what's happening.
It's a lot. It's just, I could go into all the specifics, but all you really need to know is there's the big being a fire, and it's causing all sorts of problems, and we're trying to figure out how to stop it.
When I wanted to check if you were okay, that extends to personal fears. Are you going to be okay? This seems so dangerous.
I mean, I don't know. It's a lot. I'm sure it's gonna be dangerous. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I was running from the big darn thing. It's like the size of a mountain. It's big, but
Well, at least I can think of the fact that you've escaped it once.
yeah, and I'm trying to do something about it, right? Like, I think what'd be worse is sitting my paws doing nothing. Like, I can't just... I've spent so long since I left the Avon, kind of just wandering, not knowing what to do, not having really any idea of what to do. And then I met up with some cool people, and then this all happened. And so, like, it's given me something to focus on. And yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah, it's done horrible, horrible things, and I wouldn't wish that kind of destruction on anybody, but it's given me a purpose. So I can't be afraid of it. I can't be afraid of that. Right? Is that bad?
Not at all. It is a terrible thing to be adrift.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you have to know where to be. It is, being adrift with a purpose.
Well...
Being on the journey. You do not have... Success is not defined by whether you are at the destination or not.
Yeah, tell a lot of the folks at the Avon and Grandpa about that. Like,
that is the problem with education. There is so much weight, so much pressure put on results, graduation, the gaining of your arcane knowledge, the size of your spellbook. It is not for everyone, Astuto. And if it wasn't for you, that is not bad. You know, your grandfather's anger, it is born of frustration. His mind is not what it was, and there are pieces of arcane knowledge, things in his book that he cannot wield like he once did.
Not handling getting older very gracefully.
No. And he wanted to focus that, to put that through you after... Sorry, you told me last week. Was it maternal or paternal? Paternal, right?
Paternal.
Yes. After your father didn't show the natural abilities that have been passed down through our family, he was so relieved and put too much pressure, too much focus on you when they seem to have just skipped a generation. It is a manifesting of his own fears, of his own loss of power. He is scared that the Mago legacy, the Mago line will finish.
Well, then that's a problem, right? You should, I get being scared about losing your abilities, I can't even imagine what it's like. I got a while before I get there. But, it'd be one thing if he was just worried about me, or if he was worried about Dad, but he's not. It's the line. I'm concerned about the Mago line. And you know what? If it had just been him being all wrapped up in losing himself and putting his hopes in me, it might have actually been okay. But it's been like this my whole life. And as far as I know, it was like this for my dad's whole life. He just got out of it because eventually Grandpa just gave up on him. So yeah.
I'm not condoning what he does or how he thinks, but I need you to understand, Astuto. I was there when he was younger than your father. This is wrong, but it is a paying forward, a transitioning forward from all the pressure that was heaped on him. And I wish that it made him understand what you are experiencing, what you are thinking, but I think he is ashamed and not dealing with everything he went through in a healthy way.
Well, but maybe me failing at this is me now breaking all of that. What do they call it? Generational trauma?
Yes.
I didn't really listen too much in the psychology
no,
classes either.
That figures. Yeah, that follows there. If it is a bad chain, a bad legacy, then perhaps it deserves to be broken. It deserves to be diverted into other things, other explorations of possibility.
You know, and that's the thing, like, if he was supportive, if it had been my choice, Grandma, the things I've been able to figure out how to do that have nothing to do with what I was learning in those classrooms. And I only was able to do it because I was out in nature, like hanging out with folks who did things differently. Like I never would have even thought to do some of the things that I was doing if I didn't have this amazing friend from another plane of existence who just talked about things like they were normal, even though they're weird. And if I didn't have Thistlesnoot, who doesn't think anything is impossible, and Moroku just is so like a rock and so sure, and it was easy to just try anything. And Astuto kind of subconsciously grips his sword, but he doesn't actually pull it out because he figures that's a little aggressive. This is not the place and the time, but he's holding on to it. He's like, I felt like I wanted to tell everybody about what I've been doing and what I've been finding out, and it would have been nice if I had Grandfather to be able to be proud of me doing something new instead of sad that I couldn't do something old, because I can't do what he wants me to do. I don't care how good I am at it. I hate it. I hate every hour I spent in one of those study rooms. All I wanted to do was look out the window. Every moment that I was like pouring through books, I was trying to do it as fast as possible to get out of the library, to get out of there. And I'm doing study. I'm just doing it in a completely different way. I'm just studying in a way that I don't know if he ever would have even thought. And I've just kind of given up on the whole idea that he would even understand, nonetheless be proud.
It is... I think the right thing that you have hit upon. Something new. Breaking the chain, sorry. And your grandfather does need to be shown that there are other possibilities. Different lines of discovery. Other horizons. She reaches into her robe And have you got eyes on stream?
I do not know, but I can.
She pulls out the book that's in the art there. And it's a well-worn, bookmarked, little bits of paper sticking out the top, and it has this burnished kind of brass winged emblem on the front. I'll take a couple of liberties and change it a little bit there. The circular part there with the wing coming off it is not solid. There are actually crossed arrows in a like vertical horizontal cross, and with ivy leaves around the edge of the circles, making it look like a compass. And you recognize the symbol from places around Alderheart and things that you've seen in the forest, way shrines and small places that you'd spotted. This is a mark of Rhea, the divine being of the Amaranthine here in the Eviden, the divine being that looks after explorers and adventurers. Something that Astuto has been wanting to look into.
Mm-hmm.
And your grandmother says, I almost wonder if you need this anymore. It is clear that your friends have broadened your horizons and helped you, guided you in so many ways. But, and she places a paw on the cover and presses it into your paws. This is what kept me from being trapped. This is what kept me aware of wider horizons.
I mean, Isuru will open up the front cover and kind of more idly than actually studying it, kind of start flipping through. I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad taking this from you. Like, I get to leave. I know we both love him, but you're the one that has to live with him. Are you sure?
I don't have to. I choose to, Astuto. I do love him, and I do see beyond that hardened exterior. A crusty old fool. Show him, Astuto. Show him that there is another way. That this ongoing chain does not have to be the only way. Show him that there are other paths. And that we should be free to tread whichever we choose.
I'd love nothing more if he'll listen. Maybe once all this is over. Maybe once I have more than a singing sword to offer. Maybe once he calms down. I don't know. But I will. I'll at least try.
If you'll excuse the perhaps untimely metaphor, blaze your own trail, Astuto.
I'll close the book and just kind of hold it.
There are those beyond your friends who can help you.
Yeah, I got a guy at the tenders that I'm supposed to talk to more. That seems to have some ideas.
You read my mind.
Well, apparently, as much as I was trying to keep everything on the down low, apparently everybody knew that I was no longer at the Avum and had figured out what I was up to, and suddenly I got everybody telling me where to go. So yeah.
Do not be suspicious of Sobierson's motives. It was, as he says, Professor Grayeska that suggested him.
No, I like him.
She puts a paw on your shoulder. It was Professor Grayeska that told us that you showed promise. And she seems to have a connection with Sobierson and Grayeska. And something through this book of Rhea.
Am I aware of anything other than
she's always been this kind of meek there person, you know.
Yeah.
With the dominant personality of your grandfather.
So yeah, we met up with him before we went to go talk to the Humble Folk Council, and yeah, I mean, Maruk obviously respects him, and he did a really cool thing for Kit, so I trust him. It was more just, I spent so long trying to hide it, and now all of a sudden it doesn't matter, you know? Everybody knows.
If you're not too exhausted from the day's journey and reportings here and there, he would like to see you again.
Did you go talk to him, like, today?
I talk to him most days.
How do you know him?
There are a great deal of us here in the canopy, in the tenders, and deep in the roots. Followers of Rhea. And she puts the paw against where it's in your robes. It is the power of the forest, the power of the people, and the connections between them that will save Humblewood. Go down to the roots. There are those waiting in Underfall. They will take you to Sobierson.
Okay. I mean, I don't think I could go to sleep after everything that happened today, so yeah. Like now?
If you can.
I mean, yeah. Are you coming with?
No. This is your journey.
And I'll kind of pull the book back a little bit and look at it and go, I think you have something to do with it.
It is proper, I think, to send folks off on their journeys.
Oh, I'm probably supposed to go by myself, aren't I? Probably am not supposed to. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Do not fear. You are in no danger.
It's not danger. It's awkwardness. It's just awkward. It's just awkward. You know.
Fair. But you have already taken the first steps.
Well, thank you for everything. I appreciate it. I'll try to see you one more time before we leave tomorrow, but I think we're leaving tomorrow pretty early. And once again, Asuto will like move forward as though he wants to hug her and then stop. She'll
meet you halfway.
And then realizing grandfather is not there is just gonna like one arm holding the book and the other just grab her and hug.
She wraps you up. You get kind of flashbacks to when you were younger. That is the smell of her fur and everything. So
thanks, Grandma.
A preemptive thank you.
And a post-emptive, whatever. Thank you for it, everything.
Be careful. And be brave.
I'll do my best.
I know. And you kind of link arms and walk back in towards the central area in the trunk together before she gives you one last little kind of squeeze and goes off along one of the narrower branchways off towards the Mago residence, one of the finer houses up here in the canopy.
I'll stand and watch her go until I can't see her anymore, and then
after a while she disappears into the throng of people.
Okay, so Beerson's in the roots. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna tuck the book into a side bag and head down there.
Okay. Spiraling down the main branchway through the trunk markets. Do you stop in to tell your friends?
No. I think there's a very long moment where he wants to, and then there's
in front of the Feather's friend. That you can see them through the window, like talking and.
Yeah, but it's he has that moment of, if I go in there and I tell them, they're gonna want to come with, and honestly, I want them to come with, but I'm supposed to go. I think I'm supposed to go and do this, and if they come with, then I'm not gonna be able to do this, and if I ask them, I'm just gonna go, and then like he convinces himself to keep going, because if he goes in to tell them, he's not leaving on his own.
Yeah. So I'm trying to fix my lighting. So the window's so bright behind me. I'm lurking in the shadows here. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. So making that decision, you pass by the Feather's friend and continue down the branch roads, and into the quieter, although not compared to last time you were here, you see that changes have been made here as well, and large numbers of refugees and humble folk are coming down here in a much more organized fashion, and they're being assisted. You start to see that emblem of the Wildwood Brigade here as well, and you see that people are being directed and sent in the direction of Pesselhaven, those old fungal farms that were abandoned and in ruin, and it seems that Maruk's old village fellow villagers are not going to be too alone out there anytime soon, as it's a much more concerted effort to make everyone comfortable down here. You reach the Underfall, that kind of central hub area which goes off into the various routes of the Evertree, and a couple of tenders approach you. A strig, kind of the hedgehog folk, that's the owl folk. Sorry, the strig, which is kind of the owl folk, and a gerbine, and you see that it is Arya.
Okay. There's a moment where, like, Studio hasn't been trying to hide, but when he's alone, he tends to, just become that person that just weaves through the crowd and nobody notices. And he does it kind of on purpose. He just doesn't want to engage with anybody. And so when he sees these two approaching, there's a moment where he's going to duck back into the crowd and just let him go by. And then he sees it's Arya and... Okay, all right. Hey.
They turn. Oh, hi. I'm glad you could make it. We were worried that everything happened today. It's been a bit of a whirlwind.
Right. It's been a day. There's been a lot, but you know what? It's been this much, so why not a little bit more? What? I guess I'm supposed to go see Sobierson?
Yes. You just need our accompaniment to get. You'll see. And the two of them lead you out of the Underfall and through the roots of this level down here in the Dark Earth. You see those glow globes and some kind of natural bioluminescent things being purposed to illuminate the various passageways that have been shaped through the living roots of the Evertree. And you see that the folk around you, majority humble folk down here, and bird folk preferring the open air above, but they become fewer and fewer, and you head down a deserted, narrow tunnel in the roots here, which looks like it's going to dead end, but the Strig with Arya reaches up with a staff and wraps a particular pattern on the wooden wall at the end of the root tunnel, and there is a dull organic thunk as a section of the wall moves and swings inward.
Can Astuto really quickly memorize that pattern?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think he realizes something is about to happen and pays attention to, yeah. Okay, all right, yeah.
I mean, is there any other? I think
no, obviously.
And you go anywhere with a secret knock, you have to try that first, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's like the whole open sesame thing. You got to do the shave and haircut, yeah. So yeah, I was
trying to remember what the words were. I couldn't remember.
Not for anything nefarious, but like, okay, now I know where I'm going, and I'm just gonna remember this just in case.
Yeah, just don't tell Thistles.
No. or yeah, maybe tell Thistles. I don't know, but you know, it's always good to know when there's secret stuff going on.
Thistles probably knows.
To be honest, yeah, I'll probably tell Thistles Snoot, and then.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're just figuring that out now.
And you are confronted with a humble folk, you assume, but not of a type that you've ever seen before. They are not evidence in other parts of the tree, and you haven't seen them in the forest, as a dark, kind of burnt orange furred Ratatosk, the squirrel folk.
Of course, in the middle of Yggdrasil. Why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there be a rat? Sorry, that's Lauren. That's Lauren saying, thank you. I appreciate that. Astuto is more like, okay, cool.
Actually, thank the folks over at Cobalt Press. They are the ones who have Ratatosk guarding Yggdrasil. It's where I first saw that. Yes. Wonderful people over there. You see this interesting looking creature, and they clearly know the Strig. Arya also seems to be experiencing this for the first time, but is trying to keep cool.
Astuto fails miserably to keep cool. There's absolutely, there is like wide-eyed and kind of that curious. He manages to not have 20. Well, he manages to not have 20 questions come out of his mouth immediately. That is the extent of his keeping himself together. Is just.
You are nodded at by the Ratatosk, and they're like, Astuto. And the Strig is like, yes, this is who you seek. And the Ratatosk gestures, please, obeisance, inside.
Okay, sure. For a second I thought you meant I was here to see you, which, I mean, would be fine, but like, I don't... Who are you?
Miliagard.
Hi. Figured you knew who I was. I should figure out who you are. Are you also from the Witchlight Carnival?
What?
Okay, I'm taking that as a no. No, I'm sorry. I got a friend who's not from around here, and so I thought...
yes, we know.
Sorry if that came off as insensitive. It's not like I expect anyone who's not from around here to know everybody else who's not from around here, but like, I can't help but yeah.
It is not unheard of for those about to become aware of the vast plain and all of the things that are beyond that to latch on to things that they know of. It is okay. Thank you, he says to the tenders, and Arya nods and smiles encouragingly as the secret door closes. And you find yourself in a continuation of the same tunnel, but just clearly, wood-shaped to seal off that one section and make it invisible there. Hey, thanks for the follows. And the Ratatosk kind of bustles off, and just this big floof of tail just in front of you as it goes down the tunnel. And it has taken a torch out of a sconce by the door, and there's no added light to this section. He's like, follow.
Okay, yeah. Where are we going?
This way. And goes the torchlight kind of reflecting off the burnished copper. Again, that's similar kind of metal to that's on the front of your book, as it kind of goes scuttling off down the passageway. Not uncomfortably fast, it's easy to follow. I think any questions that you ask and things, just like, you'll see. It's just just really kind of dismissive.
I think when he goes, where are we going? This way. I think there's a little bit of grumbling of well, yeah, I can find it this way. Unless you're gonna there's gonna be another secret passage, which I wouldn't put it past you. Don't get me wrong, but could you be a little more? I was expecting to come here for Sir Pearson, and listen, I'm not upset. I'm a little worried, but where? Where is this? What's going on? Should I have Maruk with me?
You'll see. Slightly infuriating. It is a short journey, though, and you kind of twist around, and as the roots kind of delve into the earth here, and you kind of follow them down, others come in, and it seems to be quite a tangle of roots here. And those aren't tunneled out or anything. You can just see where they kind of cross over each other, and sometimes they actually go through the tunnel, and you kind of duck under and continue on. At a certain point, the torchlight is not the only illumination. You see round the curve ahead, there is a blue light, not dissimilar to the glow of your sword in the character art. That similar kind of light there, this kind of pale blue, shimmering. It's kind of shifting a little as well, reflected up on the walls, and the Ratatosk guard disappears round the corner, and you see a large... It's like there's a tree knot, like a knot of wood that's been kind of the convergence of lots of organic material and roots coming together, and the entirety has been hollowed out, but it looks like a natural occurrence. It's not the smooth kind of shaping of the druids and the wood shapers of the city. It looks like a natural cavern within the organic material of the Evertree's roots, and it's slightly curved down in a basin, and the central part is full of water. You assume is water, but it's giving off this blue glow, and there are dancing. You know how illuminated water in caves do that kind of ripple effect on the ceiling as the lights reflected up. That's dancing above the organic ceiling above you, and you see other passageways going off, each with a Ratatosk standing guard in similar armor to the one that's guided you. And next to the pool, looking towards you, waiting for you clearly, Evolpin, Sobirson, stood leaning heavily on that cane, that long, twisted wooden staff again, and looking towards you.
Is there anybody else here besides the guards and Sobirson?
No.
Okay. Astuto is going to kind of quicken pace over to Sobirson, half in a little bit of awkward worry and half with 20 billion questions. Hey, so, Grandma said you wanted to see me, which is already an interesting turn of events, and we're going to talk about that at least at some point, I assume.
He nods, and I have character art for this too.
Okay.
I switched it up from last time. I think this one looks a bit more wilder than the one that the scarf one before.
Yeah. So I have questions.
He nods
I
understandingly.
I don't even really know where to start. Why don't you start? I assume you've got a reason for me to be here.
Indeed. Thank you for joining me here. Apologies for the secrecy. These are not parts of the Evertree that are accessible to just anybody.
I got the sense after going through the secret door that was probably the case. Why?
Your professor, Greyeska. He contacted us after you showed promise.
Oh, I thought you were going to say left, but okay, yeah, sure.
No, it was before you left. He had sought to point you in our direction, but you had disappeared by the time he came to find you. It is fortunate that my little Muruk found you.
Muruk's good folk.
He is. He needs to center himself sometimes.
I mean, he can turn into things that have a really heavy center, so I think sometimes he's gonna be okay, but I think I know what you actually mean, but yeah.
It is a true source of power. Being a druid in these lands.
And he gestures up above.
There are so many instances of life gathered here beyond the Humblewood, beyond Everden. More than occur naturally anywhere else. It is an honor and a pleasure to be connected to such potential. And it is very rare that one of the arcane persuasion starts to nurture a similar connection.
So wait. Not everybody who goes to the Avon feels this? I just figured it was me. It wasn't just me. It was, everybody does, and I just got distracted by it.
He gestures to the wall of the chamber. And you see that same compass mark of Rhea, along with scratchings in humble folk and bird folk text.
It is not a common thing at the Avium. No. It is something we have been waiting for.
And you look at the inscription on the wall. And it reads almost like a summary of everything that's happened. The spreading of wildfires, a growing power in the scorched grove. It's in a certain kind of rhyming style. And it finishes in a way that grasps your attention. One
of scorched earth, one of the wood, one of the stars, and one from beyond shall manifest good.
I'm gonna walk a little closer to this inscription. Can I tell how old this is?
Yeah, give an investigation. There was going to be a roll today. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, always
dice.
ready to roll. 24.
Excellent. It looks fairly ancient. Yes, it's definitely. You can see where the coloration of where the inscription's been made has darkened to almost the same as the surface. It's not fresh in any way. And
I said I was gonna mull over that last line for a hot minute, and then look.
So Bearson's just standing behind you, just watching your reaction.
So, I mean, listen, I did Prophecy 101, and I don't usually believe in that kind of stuff. Are you telling me you think... I mean, if it wasn't for Kit, I'd just, say, nah, it could be anybody, but,
The problem with
you think this is us?
The problem with prophecies is people assume they are just maps of what is to be, what will become. But they are possibilities. There are places far, far away where words such as this govern almost all things. But prophecies so large require lifetimes vaster than ours to comprehend. They are the domain of the great worms.
Do I have any idea what he's talking about?
You would have read about dragons, I think, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, we've mentioned Yggdrasil, and so now I was thinking of the world serpent, but dragon.
Fair.
That makes... Okay.
He's like, psych, Denda. It's like, no.
It's like, oh, no, wait. I mean, we've already seen fire snakes, and so night serpents, sure.
They're trying to stop the cult of rejuvenation because no, it has to end and everything will end.
Jeez. Oh, that's just what we need.
Puts idea away for later.
Yeah. It's this campaign part 2. So, how much of this governed you being told about me? Or was that beforehand and then this, what came first?
We think this is you. Clearly. Muruk is of scorched earth, both the grove and his hometown. Thistlesnoot is of the stars. Half was born from the stars, a constellation given divine form. And it is clear Kit is from beyond, like my friends here. And the Rattusks nod. And we believe, if what Professor Grayeska says is true, you are of the wood. The 4 points of the compass, giving direction in this time when we are in danger of being lost.
You know, it was enough trying to deal with the fact that my grandfather didn't like any of this. And now you're saying that, like, this is a whole prophecy with the four of us. And I have a hard time disputing it because he can't. It's,
It is...
How much does anybody know about this?
It is a select few. There are those that would misuse the information. The emergence of this cult of rejuvenation and the darker side of it worries us.
Yeah, us too.
Especially the ability for infiltration that might be possible. The words we live by, us small through, it is not a Church of Rhea doctrine, although it is connected to, it is, let us say that all cults have their off-branches, some darker than others. We are connected to the Amaranthine Rhea, but separate from the official church.
Because of that.
Indeed. We are those that guard the ways for Rhea. The exploration, the adventure, the broadest horizons. And he gestures to the other exits from this chamber and to the pool itself.
I'm gonna give the pool and all the exits and everything just another look over and remember the conversation that we had earlier about Kit getting access to an interior part of the tree that could help get her back home. Is this it? Are those portals? Is that a portal? Has what I've walked into is Portal City?
Ah, the sharpness of the academic mind.
Oh, I said that out loud. I didn't mean to say that out loud. Okay, I was just thinking, and then I just, okay. It's not academic mind. No, it's just. Okay. I mean, Kit should be the one that's down here, right? Like, she's the one who should be here. We're trying to get her home. Like, and she's one of the people on your prophecy board, so, like, she should be here.
It is as one of our farther-reaching and more illustrious members says. It is a case of being in the right place at the right time.
I mean, if
Kit's
if
time
you're gonna end
here,
up-
Kit's time here will come. But first, the dangers to Humblewood must be addressed.
Okay. Are you gonna tell her? Because it seems
Of course.
cruel not to.
Of course.
Okay, good. You're gonna tell her before or after we attempt to save everything?
I have the wisdom. Oops, all wisdom, you might say.
I had that for a little while.
To not make assumptions about those I do not know well enough.
So that's a no.
I ask you. Is Kit ready to know this place?
Ready? How? I wasn't ready to know this place, and now you want me to...
Necessity has forced my pour here.
the question you should be asking is if she knows about this place, would she just leave? And if she decides to just leave, then is someone else gonna fill in the blank of the prophecy? That's really what you're asking.
Yes.
And you don't think the answer to any of those things are gonna be good.
We have our concerns.
And if we don't tell her, and she dies on this saving the world thing, and that's gotta be on my conscience.
Understood. Know that he considers what you've said. You're right.
I usually am.
It is their choice.
Look at it this way. If they really are prophecy bound, they're probably gonna want to stay and help, right? If it's the right person at the right place at the right time. If she's the wrong person at the wrong place at the wrong time, she'll go and we'll get someone else.
He smiles and nods. You have shown that your opinion of Kit is who we hope them to be. They will be made aware. But whether or not she is the right person in the right place at the right time is secondary right now to the fact or the question of whether you are or not.
Well, let me put it this way. If the answer was you weren't going to tell Kit, then the answer to me being the right person is no. But if you're going to tell her before we leave, and she's given that choice, then you're people I do want to work with, and yeah, I'll do what I can, and I'm the right person at the right time.
Understood. But that is not the only factor here. Your studies at the AVM. Did you look much into the phenomenon that is an Evertree? You did not know of its planar connections.
No.
Give me an Arcana check.
Yeah, I did Planar 101, so I know what planes are, and I knew the tree, like, it's connected to everywhere here, and if anything or one was going to know about that, I didn't know there was, like, portals sitting at the bottom of it. In fact, with an 11, I wasn't even sure that it had anything to do with anything.
Yeah. He looks at you.
I was there only a year, okay?
Yep. Yeah, first, 101 is not the best. Not the
I
most,
got
not the most
Cliff
detailed.
Notes,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Clifford's notes.
Yeah, he went, I slept in class, and Clifford took all the notes.
Not patchy at best.
Oh, his notes are great. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. But yeah, the curriculum in the first grade is not too deep.
No.
So Pearson looks at you. In much the same way, the Scorched Grove is connected to the elemental plane of fire and is controlled. Was controlled. The same goes for other parts of this world. That is not the only plane connected to ours. There are other planes. There are places between. These tunnels reach far beyond the Humblewood. Ever then, the beastlands themselves. There are those directly connected to other places. There are those that are mere starts of a journey through the vast branches of Yggdrasil or into the labyrinth. I myself am not too aware of what lies beyond, not as much as my colleagues here.
And neither is John, because the labyrinth is currently being kickstarted by Cobalt Press. It is their new interplanar dimension that they are developing as a different way, like a equivalent to the Infinite Staircase and the.
Kit was telling me about these really small dragon people that are like really smart and crafty, and they're working on things all the time. And that if you ever come across them, that you should always like pay attention to what they're working on. So if they're working on this labyrinth, and I mean, I trust Kit, so yeah.
There is a place equal, if not above, the renown of the Avium. It is known as the Warrens.
Okay.
Kobolds indeed. And he looks towards the pool. Then there are those more direct connections. To fire and ruin, but also to places of such nature, such wildness. You cannot imagine, Stuto. There is a place that I believe your friend Kit was from originally, called the Feywild. My suspicions were confirmed when I connected Kit to the Beyond. It was, you are aware of the art of scrying, yes?
Yeah, I haven't been able to do it myself, but yeah.
It is a similar thing, but connecting an individual to their past, especially one who has been touched by a different plane and its effects. Kit is Fey-touched, a being of the Feywild, and has travelled further than they remember. I hesitated to be in touch with, or to let Kit know everything, because I myself am not fully aware of everything. I do not know where in the Feywild Kit is related to, and whether it is close to what is through here, or leagues, eons beyond. It is an infinite place, as most of the planes are. This, Astuto, this is the Everpool. Each Evertree has one. It is a concentrated collection of the waters that give the Evertree life. It is why it is kept so secret and well guarded. It would be a great tragedy if anything befell the life force of an Evertree.
Like a big, giant, mountain-sized being of fire that is trying to burn everything.
Indeed. But the Everpools not only represent this life force, but they are also portals to the source of that life. the Feywild, the infinite nature that abounds there. It is what forges the connections between the Evertree and Yggdrasil, and gives life. It is why this region of Everden is so fertile, so full of all forms of life. I and my colleagues are seeking to find out more about Kit. This connection I have created between them and their home should act as a beacon. If anyone from that part of the Feywild is looking for Kit, they can find them.
Then I'm glad that you're going to be bringing her here to let her know, because even if you can't send her home immediately, her knowing that, like, someone from the carnival that she was with just, like, showing up and going, "Hi, I'm here for Kit," like, that'd be great.
I do not believe it will be the carnival. That is... It was fascinating to study while it was here until the Ember Bats came.
Yeah.
But that is a collection of beings that travel between many places. Although there must be a reason Kit ended up there. That is for us to discover later, I feel.
You fear?
Feel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, that's all I care about is that she's given options. Okay.
Now, Kit will have their time. But here and now, it is yours.
Okay.
You are so close, Astuto.
To what?
A connection. If you are of the wood, you must have a connection to it. As we do, the tenders. As the tree. As all things do. But yours must be a stronger connection to take your place in the prophecy.
I don't care about the prophecy, but if it helps me be something strong enough to stop the big mountain of fire, then that's the important bit. The prophecy,
That is the same
that's
thing.
writing on a wall. Maybe. Like, but listen, I've been in enough academic arguments, even in the 1 year that I was there, to know that that is just a losing proposition. We could spend the next 35 minutes standing here arguing about whether the prophecy is, like, good or me or whatever. But if you think me learning how to connect more to the tree is going to give me more ability to be able to fight back against the mountain of fire, then that's all I care about. I just don't know how to do it.
I think they had
That's the one thing that the Avum had over what I've been doing, is there was a place to go to ask people, and I just haven't. I've been making it up as I go along. I hear the song and I just dance to it.
I think they had to seal off that part of the avium for a short while after the misguided professor wrote on the board, "Prophecy, real or not, discuss."
Yeah, philosophy and prophecy. Oof, those are heady topics.
I can imagine.
So Pearson gestures to the Everpool.
You have the next stage of a journey to take, Astuto. You have a connection to forge. It is begun as an idea in your time at the avium. It has grown, sprouted into a sapling in your journeys through the wood with Maruk, and has become the first stage of a strong, fully grown connection. When you reached out near the pool. The Gallus is one of us. And let us know what he saw that day.
You know, I should be surprised, but I'm not.
Reach out to the waters, as you did that day, near the pool that was corrupted. Reach out and forge your connection.
Okay.
And he says,
Our friend, Brenna, has given you the means.
and he gestures at a sword.
And
A sword of the
he'll-
wood.
he'll grab it, and unlike before, he'll just take it out to look at it and go, I haven't had a chance to actually use it, but it feels real nice. I just thought it was a really cool sword. I thought I was looking forward to dancing to it. But okay, am I?
Is it not there and the rest of the Amaranthines' way? It is the rhythm. The rhythm of the wood.
And that's like the underlying like religious tenet of the whole Amaranthine. Is
Yeah.
the rhythms of life, the cycles, the connection of everything.
It is the rhythm of the wood that leads to your dance. This is an instance of your connection.
And thank you so much for choosing Bladesing. It's a nice coincidence.
Thank you for letting me be a wanger.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Proffer
That's
your,
all po-
proffer
that's
your
all
sword.
poetic. Oh, okay, good. I was just gonna say, if you had instructions, that'd be great, or else I could just, because I can.
He's like, proffer your sword and enter the waters.
Oh, okay. All right, okay. Said I was gonna do this, and so okay, I'll do this. All right. And I'm gonna walk up to the edge of the water, and I'm assuming because this is a pool inside of a tree, that unlike the other pool lake, there's no mud. There's no. It's just tree, water.
Yeah, just rough wood. It doesn't. It's not. You know, there's no danger of slipping or anything. It's just very easy to walk. And you. Do you
Yeah, I think I
take
get-
off your outer robes? Put down the book.
I think he'll take off the bag that
Yeah.
has stuff, but no, I think he plunks that down. He goes to the edge of the pool, just holding the sword.
Mhm.
How deep is the water? How deep does it look?
It is a shallow incline,
Okay.
but it is deepening towards the center. And
Okay.
you walk in.
I think before he walks in,
Mhm.
he's gonna take the sword and he's gonna take a few deep breaths and he's gonna try to remember the last couple of times that he's managed to hear the song. He's gonna take the flat of the blade, and because before he's like struck it on the ground or struck it on something else, so this time he's gonna take the flat of the blade and just strike it against the tree to get it vibrating. And hearing the noise, and he goes into his blade song and stomps his way into the pool.
And as you enter the water, that vibration, that rhythm is clear on the surface of the water. You can see those ripples like dancing. You know, there are droplets of that. You see as the water kind of like bounces up at the surface, the droplets have that same illumination still. It's not being illuminated from below or anything. It is the water itself that's giving off this light. And you wade into the water. Maple takes off from your head and is kind of buzzing around you, like lazily flapping the awkward wings. And as you reach your waist, you lay the blade across your palms and lay it on the surface of the water, And that dancing, that vibration in the surface gets stronger and more pronounced as the blade approaches and gets closer. And as you enter the water, there is a whoosh as the water just erupts around you. And those almost like sound waves in the water are like dancing and moving and swirling around you. Maple swirls a similar color, that blue trail of energy behind her, spiraling around you. And the waters of the Everpool rise up, and you find yourself rising with them in the center of the pool, floating above the dancing waters. These waves, these sine waves and various like musical waves like dancing around you as the rhythm completely takes over this water. And you see on the formerly featureless ceiling above a emblem of Rhea glowing brightly, and you can see that the emblem over by the prophecy is also glowing, and you could just make out Sabirson and the Ratatosk's all looking at you, and your sword across your pores glowing with that same light that we can see in the character art there. It starts to focus in down into more pronounced, more specific glowing emblems and patterns, and you see on the blade of your sword of the forest, your sword of the wood, there is the arcane script of every spell that you know. A connection has been made through the Everpool and the Evertree itself to the Humblewood, connecting you via the Sword of the Wood. And now your arcane abilities and the wood are fully connected. You no longer need a spellbook. As a certain someone online suggested, you now have a sword that
I love that you took
contains-
what they said was a shitty idea. For those that don't know, the idea was that it's a wizard who just writes all of their spells down on a sword so that they don't have to, so they can cheat off of it. And I might have thought that was funny, and now here it is true.
Taking liberties here, excuse me.
No, I love it. I love it. This is so cool.
And you return to the edge of the pool. It doesn't just unceremoniously dump you back in the water. I think you'd probably fall through to the Feywild if you did that.
And you're done.
You have float down, much like your birdfolk friends and their abilities to glide, down to the edge of the pool. Maple, the moth, just like flaps on top of your head, just exhausted, just like wings just draped over your fur. And Soberson standing, holding firm onto his staff, almost to steady himself, as they kind of driven back by this arcane druidic force, this connecting of the ways and powers. Breathing heavily, nods. You are truly of the wood, and I hope that you and your friends will see the prophecy through. And we shall stop there for today.
Ooh. Okay.
Thank you.
I think there's a post-credit sequence where you just see like Astudo soaking wet, looking over the sword, and then eventually going, yeah, I gotta learn prestidigitation. How do I put prestidigitation on this thing? Because I'm soaking wet. Maple, help.
So, thank you so much. That was lovely.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Lots of lore and stuff for you to fill your friends in about, as usual.
I mean, or we've now. Sorry if I gave you more work by being like, and now you're telling Kid about this, but like
no.
I could. There, yeah. So.
No, I think we can start next time with them being summoned down here to join you, or you returning to the Feathers friend and telling them. Either way is fine.
Either way works, I think. I think for expediency's sake, sending the Gerbine up and being like, y'all gotta come.
Right.
And arriving to that moment of Astuto soaking wet, looking over this cool sword and just feeling that performance, the like there's a runner's high.
Yes.
It's the same kind of thing after you've done a performance, and he doesn't see the blade singing as a performance, but there's definitely that like adrenaline rush of everything that just happened, and
Absolutely.
him just grinning like a school kid, looking over this sword, going, "I'm soaking wet. I don't know prestidigitation, but this is so cool."
Excellent. Okay, so yes, we shall rejoin next time as your friends are also ushered into the bowels of the earth and beneath the Ever Tree and down to the Ever Pool to learn new things and set off with new inspiration and drive as they go shopping. And on to the avium next time, as we shall find out what is happening, what is going on, who is to blame, and how can it be solved. All sorts of things happening there. Very excited. Okay, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. And we're looking forward to having everyone back next time and jumping in to all that good stuff. But before that, let us say our farewells and be on our merry way. Astuto, where can people find you as you splash through the Everpool into the material plane?
As Astuto splashes through and this weird hairless creature comes out named Lauren Urban, who you can find more about what I'm doing at my website, lauren-urban.com. The next thing that I'm doing is tomorrow. You can find me on the Dungeon Scrawlers channel playing Baldur's Gate 3 as this other character that the Idle Champions folks know, Orkira. We are in the Underdark heading to a Dwergar place to go free a whole bunch of Zwerfneblin.
Hey.
There you go.
Nice. In the Zwerfneblin city, like I don't put accents on species, I put them on like geographical places as in the real world.
Yeah.
The Zwerfneblin Blingdenstone down in the Underdark, their main city is Liverpudlian, so it's like
nice.
they talk like the Beatles.
That is not an accent I can pull off. I spent a very long time learning how to say Zwerfneblin, and so I say it at every opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah. No deep knowns around here.
Yeah.
Yes. I lived about an hour and a half away from Liverpool, so it wanders into Irish sometimes, but that's because so many people went across the channel there between Ireland and Liverpool, so there is a strong connection there. But yes, thank you very much. We are Phoenix UK. We play lots of D&D and other TTRPGs, and we'll be back at the weekend with Phandelver and below. Speaking of people heading to Duragar Underdark fortresses, also discovering clues around Phandelver that these strange psionic goblins are lairing in a abandoned Duragar mining settlement. So they are going to go there and try and discover what is happening with the Shattered Obelisk. And then next week, at the other end of the weekend, we'll be back in Chult for more Tomb of Annihilation before returning here to continue this journey. And on to Chicenta's Tyranny on the Friday. Then, beyond that, actually, I think, is that... Yeah, is it
and then it's next week. Next week.
We're
at the end of the month already.
Yeah, so that means the end of the month for you guys, starts of the next month for me, will be the beginning of our charity events. We are going to be kicking things off Halloween for you, November 1st over here, as we join our amazing guests to play the fabulous one-page TTRPG called Grave Danger. Which is going to be kicking off and deciding with the random rolls that will determine our story there what the rest of the story is for the other one-shots throughout the event, as well as all of our campaign games. Join us for that and a chance to donate to an amazing cause, World Central Kitchen, and all the amazing work they're doing with hurricane relief in war zones. Just incredible people helping out all around the world. They've done amazing earthquake relief here in Japan as well. So please come and help us support this amazing cause. Get the chance to cause shenanigans in-game. Get the chance to get into the prize draw. We're getting some exciting donations of prizes to add to that at the moment. Stay tuned. Jump into the Discord if you want to keep up with all of the news about that good stuff. And as always, It's going to be an amazing event with our friends at Guild Superior and Folk and Myth. So do not miss all of that. Coming up very, very soon. Week and a half.
Very soon.
Yeah, it is. I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. Got so many amazing guests. And looking forward to sharing that with all of you. But that is all for today. We are going to head off on our merry way. But if you are heading off on your adventures, for example, in the Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, you should take this code for a chest of goodies, that Electrum chest there. Will get you all of the things you need to have a fantastic time in that strategy game from the officially licensed from Wizards of the Coast. All of the amazing characters in there from Forgotten Realms lore and across various actual plays on the internet. Check out all of the amazing stuff there at the link there. And also, of course, the good stuff from our buddies that regularly keep the lights on over here. Check out all the amazing stuff from Troll Lord Games, CZRPG, and Phoenix Dice. Going to be certain goodies up for grabs in the giveaway from all of those lovely people, I can assure you. But yes, very exciting. Speaking of our buddies in that charity event there, let's go and see what Guild Superior are up to at the moment, as they are playing some Dungeons & Dragons too. Again, Laura, thank you. Absolute pleasure as always. And I will look forward to having everyone back together next time. But
absolutely.
Till then, everybody, stick around for the raid if you've got them. Let those phoenixes fly. But as we say around these parts, till next time, oyasumi nasai. Bye. Thank you.